Frontline with Kwekwanan, only on CTV. The Frontline with Kwekwanan, only on CTV. The Frontline with Kwekwanan, only on CTV. The Frontline with Kwekwanan, only on CTV.
Tonight, we turn the spotlight on serious concerns raised by Citizen Eye Ghana, a civil society organization that has expressed worry about what it described as a growing lack of public confidence in leadership in Ghana's northern region. According to the organization, these concerns span several critical issues, including perceived inability of authorities to ensure peace, stability, and law and order, matters that remain a top priority for the people of the region. Citizen Eye Ghana also highlighted more sensitive claims, including controversial views suggesting that people from the northern region should not be entrusted with certain high national office, such as presidency. Tonight, we examine these claims, the reactions they have generated, and what they mean for unity, leadership, and development in Ghana. I am Kweku Anan, and of course this is your GPS. Tonight we're live across dozens of stations tonight, all lifting the feed. Let's begin with the one in Sunyani. The dial is 88.1 FM. We're live in Western region on the dial Tadi 99.1 FM. London has just lifted it up on GOB broadcasting on modernghana.com. and tune in still on GOB. The feed is on www.gobtv.tv plus Apple Music. The information super dial tonight is lifting the feed on my CTV GH and the Frontline Ghana. Both links active. My CTV GH and the Frontline Ghana. Both links are active tonight, and so you can watch it. Particularly those of you who love watching the program on, YouTube, the internet, and what have you. Plus the interactive segments on the WhatsApp line 020-297-3461. I'll read your messages, all your messages on my console. 020. Of course, the numbers will be. It's on the screen right now. This number is not meant for you to call. This is where you drop your message, and then I will gladly read all your messages. 020-297-3461. We'll read all your messages for you folks. Tonight, of course, is a brand new week and a brand new month. Of course, 2nd of March 2026. Many of you call the month of March as what? Ghana month. And I said, what is so special about Ghana month? Why have we chosen this month, March, to be that of the months of Ghana, and the rest of the months remain so? Why do we want to do our things so special? For once, we want to behave like Ghanaians in the month of March, and then after March, April, May, June, then we behave differently. I don't know who declared this. I don't know. I don't recall if this was an act of parliament or it was an act of what. I don't know. Why should we declare this month? So it is only this month, March, that all of us want to behave like Ghanaians and move smoothly and do things. So if you watch the television, radio, they are all playing, the Ghanaian music. To us it were to show national in character. But when the month of March is gone, then we are back same. The way we do our things. I don't seem to get it. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me, and I cannot, think beyond. Can we be Ghanaians every day? Can we walk down the aisle and behave like Ghanaians? So we would be able to, because you know why? There's so many things that will make us more Ghanaian than the month of March. If we want to be patriotic, we can be more patriotic pretty much more than even to select, or if you like, to choose the month of March and behave as such. And after that, we'll be doing things the other way around. Yeah, why not? Anyway, it's up to you Ghanaians. Guys, tonight, I have something on the table and you have to really join the show. Call a friend, call a brother, call a sister, wherever you are. An organization called Citizen Eye Ghana. Citizen Eye Ghana is what? It's a civil society organization. Now, they've raised a very, very sensitive matter. They've raised quite a very sensitive, but of course, it's a thought-provoking, something that we need to talk about. And what is it that they are asking, or they are raising these concerns? They are raising concerns such as, our brothers from the northern region. This is the concern. The Citizen Ghana would be in the studio to tell us more to that of what I'm giving out. What they are saying is this: hey, either we have to make it to become part of the constitution, or otherwise we should make provision for this quickly by way of enacting a law. But I don't know if we are to enact a law, whether that will hold or it will not. And this is where Citizen Eye Ghana is coming from, that we should ban the northern people from holding positions in this country. Particularly, they were specific, particularly the presidency. Well, they tried to stretch it to, high profile offices, but they are more particular about we banning the northern people not to hold the presidency position. And you know what? They base their argument on the fact that, yes, the people of the north have disappointed the northern belt. The country is divided into how many, we have the north, south, east, and west. But they believe, Citizen Eye Ghana's research, point to the fact that, hey, the northern people have disappointed the northerners and themselves. So therefore, it still cannot make sense that all the time the presidency, the high office, continue to hoover either north or south. But here they again advanced another argument that if so, and it's all about, okay, if it is not within the south and it has to be in the north, no problem yet. But let's again take a cognizance look of what goes on in the northern region. There are a lot of troubles, conflict upon conflict, disturbances upon disturbances. And above all of these disturbances, then again, the most regrettable part of this is this. Look, we then have to take money from the consolidated fund, push it to the north to go and resolve conflicts that in itself was also caused by themselves. All right? We take money from the consolidated fund, we push it to the northern belt to, as it were, go and resolve a conflict that was not created by the southern people, but by themselves. Number 3 or 4. Now, these conflicts, as we've seen and we've heard many times, cannot, will not, and may not be resolved by themselves, but it has to be resolved by the people from the south. So then the question, what sense does it make to allow them to participate in the high offices, and when they cannot use the high offices to, as it were, to make some, sort of a progress for the people in the northern region? Guys, this is an issue. It may be very difficult for us to look at, but we need to give it a thought. Yeah, we need to give it a thought tonight. This is where Citizen Eye Ghana tonight will join me for us to peruse this matter and look at it well. Now, for example, look at what is going on here. I don't know when this trend began, but I grew up to discover You know what? Me, I've told you, I'm like a nod now. Because both my primary and secondary school, I attended all of it in the north, right? I don't have classmates here. Amaliba lawyer, Isaac Adongo, and who else? Quite a number of these people in the political. Adongo, for example, is my senior. Yeah, he was a very clever guy. So I'm not quite surprised that Adongo is, a member of parliament for Bolgatanga Central, and now a senior board member of BOG, Bank of Ghana, and all of that. Yes, but you see, whilst growing, and later we have to drop here in the south, travel back and all of that. What I have seen here is when you go to, and not here in the capital, all over regional capitals, go to Eastern region, go to Ashanti region, Kumasi, everywhere, go to Western region. The kind of people you see them, or you see there, doing all kind of miniature jobs, popularly known as what? The Kayaye. The Kayaye people are from where? They are not from anywhere, Western region, Central region, or Eastern region. They are from the Northern region. Question, why these Northern big boys could allow and subject their own children, both young men and women, into such jobs. When you go to Accra right now and you do any shopping, for you to, as it were, get your goods into your car, the lady who would carry this stuff is a northerner, probability from one of the regions in the northern region, and not a southerner. So question, why is it that these northern big boys in our politics, in MPP and NDC, all the time subject their own people into such horrendous treatment? Again, there is another argument that if you look at the political trend, the trajectory has always been, let's choose a vice president from the north. So we can say without any equivocation that the people of the north have enjoyed this high office many times, right from Kufuor's era. We had Aliyu Mahama. Aliyu Mahama became the vice president for what? Is it 8 years? I guess. Was he able to reverse the trend? The increasingly northern people flooding all regional capitals for such miniature jobs. It's sort of an embarrassment. It strikes the face of the northern region. So question, why can't we reverse this trend? Right from Aliyu Mahama, what happened? Aliyu Mahama was the vice president to Kufuor. Later, what happened? There was a massive conflict in the northern region. This conflict eventually led to what? It led to the decapitation of who? The king of the Abudus. The king's head was, he was decapitated, and a group of people held his head like this, pierced his head on a stick, and held the stick like this, roaming through the principal street of Tamale, as if though they've won trophy. The king's head was on a stick, and they were running, celebrating it as though they've won a trophy. Guys, ask me, how did we resolve that problem in the era of Kufuor? We couldn't. The vice president himself then, Aliyu Mahama, couldn't. It took how many years thereafter for Akufo-Addo to come and for Akufo-Addo to go there and resolve that protracted dispute, for which Akufo-Addo won, unto himself, Abuda, there was a name they gave it to him, is it Abudano or something of that sort, if you recall. What is going on? Later, Akufo-Addo now brings in Bawumia. Bawumia becomes the vice president. And guys, gauge what happened in Upper East. A conflict which is pretty much older, 10 times older than, 10 times older than Bawumia. And the question is, why should Bawumia involve himself in that conflict? You are calling my line. The line is not meant for you to call, but you are calling. That's why I've opened the line for you to be on. You are not supposed to call the line. Please cut the line off quickly. Now, Bawumia comes, and Bawumia want to take, a certain political expediency by what? Involving himself in that Mamprisi Kusasi conflict. We were saved by Almighty's own what? Own intervention, had it not. Trust me, guys, because we have not discussed, the conflict, the Boku conflict, all to its nicety. That's why you don't seem to understand the danger. But Bawumia knows the question. What role did he play in the Boku conflict? And again, it demands another question. What role did he play in terms of resolving the conflict? Again, back to the south. For us to resolve whether or not, even if it is resolved, that I can't even say for sure. But again, it took another what? It took another renowned chief, a prominent chief like Otunfo Osei-Tutu II, to again go there and resolve the conflict between the Mamprisis and the most regrettable part of this is this. Bawumia himself is what? Is a key stakeholder of the conflict. He is a Mamprisi. So ask yourself, with all the build-up to the conflicts in the northern region, we can say without shred of doubt, absolutely incontrovertible, that the conflicts in the whole of the northern belt are conflicts being generated by themselves. But then again, the painful part is this: they will not also be part of resolve. They cannot even resolve the conflict. They, the northern guys in our politicking, in MPP, in NDC, may not be able to resolve the conflict all the time. We have to move state resources from here to go and resolve the conflicts in the northern region. And you will see all of them parading here in the south. Some misbehaving. And you know what? Another regrettable part is this. Now, when they get money, do you know what they use their money for? They gather money here. They send the money up north to, as it were, to engineer and to sponsor a renewed what? Conflict. What kind of disturbances is this? And guys, if you're a student of security and intelligence, then you can appreciate the situation. You have no idea how many days, weeks, months, years the conflict in the northern belt has drawn this country 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 backwards in terms of what? Developmental goals and achievement, particularly in the life of the northern people. Yeah. I want you to gauge, even as of Boko now, they should, we have to probe into it. Who do you think is this investor who would be very glad enough to say, I'm going to what? The northern region, or if like Boko, for example, to go and invest? Meanwhile, I tell you what, there's so many, business opportunities, a lot, plenty, that investors would be glad enough to go and invest in the 3 northern region. But because of conflict, they are all scared. Tonight, folks, we are going to look into all of that. And most of our northern guys in the politics also are not trustworthy. Yeah, they are not trustworthy. And lots going on. Folks, tonight, we'll look into the Citizens Ghana officials will be here for us to probe into all of this. Still on the bail. Tonight, Citizen Ghana would also give a bite to, a little above 72 hours. The president gave his State of Nation address. They will take a bite on the president's State of Nation address, and then we see where it's going. But still on the bill, the bigger story, of course, it's a pretty fascinating developing story. And I'm sure many of you are watching the international wires. On Saturday, the entire Arab world, the airspace of the Arab world is blazing with fire, flashes, long-range missiles, Scud missiles, cruise missiles, and Tomahawk. And as we speak, folks, I'm sure many of you are reading, your lenses are capturing the international wires where there was a joint coalition force, or if you like, a joint operation led by the United States and Israel, launched a massive offensive attack against Iran. And as we speak, guys, most unfortunate, the supreme leader of Iran, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, of course, has been obliterated by the United States and Israeli forces on the ground. He's gone. He's been obliterated. What it means is that if the Americans will say he's been obliterated, what it means is he's been grounded, or if you like, decapitated. His head is gone. He's the supreme leader of Iran. Is gone. The U.S. and the Americans are saying this is not like a regime change, but the target is to ensure that the supreme leader is obliterated. He got to leave the scene because he's one of the guys who is causing all of that, of the world's unsettling, that Iran should desist from advancing nuclear warheads and nuclear facilities. The IAEA, the International Atomic Agency, and all of that continue to monitor Iran. But the United States believe that, hey, Iran, you continue to build nuclear facility, and we are warning you. We don't want you to hold yourself in the global space of manufacturing nuclear facility. You become a threat to the entire Arab world, particularly Israel. Israel is also one of America's biggest interests. So then, folks, it's quite unfortunate. Now, Iran supplies the global world 20% of crude oil. So we begin to now calculate the chances of the global space. What are we to expect in this very fresh war? As we speak, the war is about to be ushered into its apex. And as we speak on Saturday, Iran decided to bomb all the major cities in the Arab world, of course, which holds America's supreme interest, because most of all these countries like Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, Dubai, and many more, all of these places, the U.S. government has built their the U.S. military installations. So they want to target the installations and then destroy it. But here Trump comes back and say, hey, listen, guys, if you try, this is Operation what? Operation the most very sad part of, or the very interesting part, Operation Epic Fury was not an operation from the U.S. Pentagon. No, it was not coming from the Pentagon. It's coming from Trump himself. He declared this Operation Epic Fury, and he has warned Iran that if Iran continues to bomb any America's interests, they should expect something they've never seen before in their lives. So what it means is we should expect, because then the U.S. government is estimating about 4 weeks more to go. 4 weeks more to go. Question, what are we to expect? And those of us within this block. And you see, if Iran closes the canal is where all the vessels passes to where Russia, China, and Iran. Iran is the biggest, supplier of oil to these two superpowers, these two communist states, Russia and then China. And then again, if you are reading the geopolitics, these two superpowers are quiet and they are monitoring the situation very close. Nobody seems to know what is really about to be picked. But folks, this is a very disturbing times and a troubling time for Africa, Ghana. Well, your so-called experts are saying, oh, Ghana, we should not be worried. Other experts are saying, oh, we should be worried. And I say, hey, there they go. And if you are not careful, sooner rather later, the NDC would also about to also sing the same patriotic song that the NPP sang in the same situation of Russian-Ukraine war. So this one too, how is it going to go? It's going to go like what? US versus Iran and Israel. I don't know how the chorus will go. But MPP one was quite smooth one. The takeoff was very smooth. Russia-Ukraine war. Russia and Ukraine war. Over how many thousands miles from here, the MPP were singing this song into our ears. Forgetting that MPP was so fortunate enough to have received a lot of what? A lot of money. Plenty money. Including the COVID-19 monies. That, you know, the COVID-19 funds that came. I tell you, if the MPP top officials were sensible enough, I tell you what, MPP wouldn't have, you know, head to the corridors of IMF. No, the COVID money was simply just enough for the MPP to handle everything. But those other affairs, particularly, they are, what's the name of that guy? That criminal crook who is still in the United States. What's his name? Ken Oforiatta. Yes, they chopped the money. Did you hear one of the, is it the Nalerigu or so? Nalerigu something, is that woman. I have the video somewhere. Complain when they try to distribute the COVID-19 money. Folks, let's get started. And I dream myself here, Citizen I Ghana, or a civil society organization, or me the same beto. As some of the beto on HSM. O man ye nim komo ni enhwe se se beya ye nuanom omo northern region ma ye ma akwanya emomu medi ade eye presidency nkonua no momu medi bi wo masem no mu di gina so se kwan a ye nuanom northerners no ede wo mankasa omo region faso no entwaso entokwa wo makwa kwa na santo koni na so no be kwa kohwehwe ni na ase no na eno aso wo mo aso so na yede a self inflicted wo mo na cause ntokwa no de toso mienza afi yenko pattern ntokwa no wo mo aso ntumi nkose ye kwa pattern ntokwa no afi wo hwe mpenimfo no wo wom no a wo mo hyehyehye particularly political parties ni MPP NDC ostensibly wo mo rule on main 33 years here so omuno ekokohwema ntokona omo pattern da bi o na omo hye ahase na de omo ya ne se omunye sika no na omo de ko fuel omo de ko eko support ntokwana more. Now Citizen I Ghana airtime building another argument, but of course saying say here ni na no yaye omen se eye epie atoye anenem ne ade okay northern region one ya manyo semi na akwa eze okay sanya south north no problem. But yen hwe se wonum nso a yenyom nof emom bedi ade ana nkonua no eya na abrabo ben ena om bebo ema etumi kura support wo wo hwe obi ti se Aliu Mahama oni o my peninkufo ena ebedi ade 8 years then e see here na breso as a vice president rather ye tweja so northern region homa chese Abudu Senandani anya asem keto emo hini pomwa ye twohini niti ye twaniti ene yedi niti si dua so se ene nipa de nam kuro no mte se trophy asamiya it say how many years ne akufo ade ba na chese ode nini ebe hwe sa asemwe mwekaya yetu ni din bi abudani ye ma oho asomdwe bae na ni na susantu kwe eba Omaini sika no a ye predigu ho no ene ye sesa the free consolidated fund mo from the south ene ye de ko ekoko solve problems no na enu mpo no enti omonkasa ye nuanom ntafo na nkranko solve problem no gise nipa ye two emissaries e free asi ha se ye nko solve problem ade nti na motete omaini sa sansem we be na Citizen I Ghana for a reason into omo susu se edwen se ehuni se efele se ense se man off obi abedi presidency bia omase 0 down to even Baumia CCA ono so be vice president emwa be na otumi de bae ono so bae no conflict na eda ho no between the Kusasis and the Mamprises and ono so be shemu kina se or be hweman tokoni mu ayedini because ono anka so a stakeholder ho because a Mamprisini Shenyoma titi say to the MPP for Nankasa 16th February 2025 one report a capture Baumia about this makasa samia ka and a Citizen I for you raise It is a so buy no. She say ono or yes stakeholder no or ba be hwe e man to kwani mu ayedi no ho. Na no ye nua na saying. In some no more reason bebre ehu pa yi o. Na em so bia hyedan yesi e de adwene be ko. The sand dap no so and so cry hard and say afi yenhwe oba south ha say ya for all the regions nina baby a obekwa a yenkodi dwa yenye se obekọ no sebe ohunnara yenu anom omu free so e no omu gu ho omu ye adwuma chese adwuma omu ye no se wakọ mokola ana wakọ himfa everywhere all the markets kona kwahwe ade ho obekọ no udi dwewie se wo pem obi asesa nyoma na odi akọ no ntafo ya na eye se adwuma wo it will be say adenti eno wo munko na ye reduce so say so mu dis adwuma we. Why? A embarrassment to the very, the integrity and the credibility of the northern region. Particularly, say, mutuminya high offices na mube handle and mube hold. Na mutumi use office and find restore these credibilities na a minus. Na mutumi sumpon find resolve conflict. E wo no for no. E na mukoya na mobile. Uni my dear, MPP ni NDC. Boni kesi omedie for which ya ye nuanom ntafo no omuwom no e supervise sadewe ene de ahene every 4 years bia ye beto ba na MPP fo akọ na omekohu kaya yefo omukohu kaya yefo na de na omoye ya mo bia skanketenkete na ya base omu na mo nkọ nofo rade o say our politicians me no omo emfa hanzina na ya base omu na sa mo nkọ up north na mo nkọ to aba na one vote to hand their fine. But many times as Kweku, as an intelligence person, an investigative journalist, I have witnessed severally. And it's almost baso minado mukoso munkotwaba and from NDC and MPP. Umuri no masiaba no mabe to medmanison. Ubi say for how many years NPP and the NDC have exploited these very vulnerable people. They are part of the human capacity, right? They are part of the human capacity. And to be said, jobs in a human who was saying that we created the massa vulnerable people. Kwa kra hona kwa shom. Ka yefoi so almost somewhere near a binima wu basa. Meanwhile, Northern region or 3 no opportunities are one off on new opportunities ketwa. Ni investor ben why read this obeko. And a pay we anadro. Yes, so many sika resources. All right, resources and security apparatus to go there and protect life and properties. Yet our brothers and sisters in the northern region, Hono capital Hono, are into political positions. Those as members of parliament, those as what? Ministers, those as what? Right honorable speakers of our parliament in many places. Now, be said, I didn't know when Timmy Sherman North Honor and to some conflict with Timmy were coming at to enter. Share Boku de Isui, Nanu, any era, Santino say to the second, or make steps. I have to say, now, Numpono, just say, a year. Over 100 years, more than what? A century, and as Anto Konakoso, as some green order. To be says, Omugu, South, any political positions, no margin, Omdi Eden, Pesamen Kumia for Nipaba, Omugusu Hono. Very, very evil. Many of them are evil. They are here and almost sponsor war no sent to Kwanin Koso. Well, Citizen I Ghana for. And I do remember me this uncommon near me now to talk. One will take a bite and so a war. President State of Nation address will deliver Friday. Again, you best say I share into Kwakesi and so up in Pine our Middle East. So the entire Arab world is in flames over the weekend. US and Israel, Kabumwa, Wamo and launch what you call surprise attacks. Precision strikes against Iran. You see Iran here then. Iran surround your what? Your nuclear facilities. Iran says, no man, I ain't ready. I want to develop nuclear facilities, because when you do that, you continue to pose an existential threat. You continue to pose an existential threat to to the Arab world, particularly Israel, all right? And the US government, of course, has what? Israel as the base, the interest. And to Kwanamu Yedin over the weekend. And of course, the Iranian supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, has been obliterated. He's gone, decapitated. The United States government say, hey man, we ain't gonna sit down and watch you ass, man. We gotta decapitate your hurt. And he's gone. Arab world, Jamaica say, all major airports in the Arab world, again, Yasaya suspended the airspace, international flight into Minko, Ghana for Kikemu, Ghana for will be period mafa krana omwato muminya kwa yemukra no mafa because airspace na is blistering with ballistic Scud missiles, Tomahawk flying, and 3 US aircraft, of course F-15 shut down by US owned forces within the Central Command from Kuwait. America loses 3 aircraft. Each aircraft will cost $100 million. Again, Trump comes back again to make a pushback. Say America, a fee in a war no ebe enter into its apex. We begin then again ask questions. Say over here in Africa, war way its effect on us ebe. But particularly if you look at the geopolitics, Iran supplies 20% of oil to the world. Unlike Venezuela, Iran oil also power. Unlike Venezuela, Venezuela is saying 300 billion barrels of crude oil. To quarter year. Iran, so we share Iran channel now. Iran a channel as our channel no. And all the global oils and the tankers in FM. One major supplier power now say Russia, China. So 2 superpowers is why you didn't hear there. We are just praying say Ubia embe jumping nan to kwana bedroom nanichine na sumbia ba. Folks, you better share a one sem no say the nyama is here at quick near the nyama ko, all right? But if you look at the kind of saying Sa and Tokoya, it's just the beginning. And it's a pretty fascinating developing story, sir. Baby eke kakono enya de papa. The UN Security Council over the weekend sat over this, but still, we mainly make any program. United Nations in power be more. The world power, the world power, United States is in control. Nobody does this to United States. I repeat, nobody does this to United States. We might ready to crash. And they are reminding Iran say, on drop it down. Now, what's nuclear weapons? Iran. Say wakoje ono kwabia mano ho a brima wo brim Iran and small. Yes, and the leader of Iran, the supreme leader, he's been obliterated. He's been cut off. Alright, yebeshe say santo kwe ebedru himfa na yensu yigina yesi yakase yensu yitu crude oil yen crude oil no kra na betimi sustain na how many barrels of crude oil in you to western region. Yen Ghana for you use a moon percentage saying, Kono could be some penny, I don't want to talk. Me course is a quick, a better fason. Kono could be some 1 penny for say, crude oil na you to a western region one. Ghana use percentage saying, Kono could be some percentage saying, and that the people of Ghana you use. Go and ask them. When you member of parliament and ask him. Chief Executive Officer Benwa, ask him. Mr. President, ask him. Any high-ranking government official, you gotta ask him. All right, ask them, folks. Well, baby Idri, of course, Midimura. Ghana Speaks proudly brought to you by Biogas Expert Engineers, and of course, Citizen I Ghana and Pinifono Krano Idri Hadada. Of course, Biogas Expert Engineers are giving us the push now. Wamo Idruma. Menu mudia ne say ye boa ma wetimi nya onan so igina e woni me bebre and I show na no dey o misraw multiples of issues are on the table. Now Biogas Expert for say hwe ye moa me do gina ade we a sese ye gusu a ye ni abre a ye dem a ye boho esan say ensuo no a ye behwe obi die ne sese ye kotu ne fresh no so no o say last week me yibi tremo ye kotu obi die a yeah, then na yetumi ayema nsuo no yɛde machine na ahyɛ fam a yɛ pumpy clean water we and so over the weekend obedience wa yekokotu no we ɛyɛ okɔ ɛyɛ kantamanso munim kantamanso ho kantamanso mu a munim ho munim baby ameke ɔhɔ ne yekotu sa boho we now the most very ɛyɛ very pretty fascinating power de we say obi ekotu boho la ma nipa we ekotu no boho ɔyɛ soje ni peni o yeah he's a military officer top military officer wɔn kotu yɛ ne nkyene nko a and he was exercising a certain skepticism say ye betu say ya na ebeba o na yesu no ma yentu mfema o so no ye kotu wie ye de be a nkyene bi enim papa na che say he's so excited over the weekend monfa ba konomra we dey say last week monfa ba kono fresh one na yetu no monfa enemra why yes ntia no ye kotu o kantaman so no enu nie fresh one ene yakwa kotu a nsuo no na eba say popo we as nsuo no ba no ye be sanitize adena nzo ze nsuo papa na start air pump ba no ye wia afi ye de pump ne be hye ade we mu nsuo no ema na kwasa we over 1,000 miles na ye de ahye na if you start treating nsuo no na afi me ba be ye no nso amam emahu we ye fresh one yakwa kotu a nipe ni agye a chese bibia edede na kwemu dia metumi a meka che wonti oh say last week there no okay monfa last week there number we just over the weekend monfa last week there number last week there no ne we yekotu no we hemfa gba we hono baby sa miami ne friend face mask ono ni fie ana yekotu we or project bi course ye tu wie no ensu ne ba ne ye wie no ya san e de pump na hye form mo ensu kama ene free ho eba enche obehu eno so ensu clean one and pump no air pumping ensu no ego asema make kire nyina ne se bomodia na bra biogas expert for ni ntumi mo matu ensu ewo fie wate sesia galamsey for monfa pump de nemra ye wie no a ye de pump ne hye wono galamsey for air ha ensuo no me de metimi aka kire no solution wo ho but solution e be gina wo so kire se wo bedan ye hwe ene ye tu wie de pump na hye ho kama pump na air pump ensuo no ba na we de yekotu no kantamanto over the weekend ye de pump be kwa hye ho metwa no nso abram we ho na kire se ensuo we ubetimi anom bi easy free if asase na kumem so no enti the American nanes eneya ensuo ho ekwa pi galamsey fo gu so omo ha ehwe eneya ye se galamsey fo nipa makonsen enkron wo se sen 9 wo maka asase bi mu ehimfa se bechem ho se ehimfa wo mu na aka asase ni ma che se wo mu na adane eyebo achi bidin wo so no wo mu so mo ma ensuo no ho nto no nti Ghana water for so ntimi pompe the American chance bomodin bra ye betu ensuo ya ma wo fie na ya connect ensuo di amamo ewo mu fie nim ebia na the whole community no kwenzi ma wo gisi ho na tubo ho no na afi connect ma every household bia na bosumi bi omuntu awka. What do you think you are doing? It's money. Sika mu pa o we yetu ama wa cost was saying 28,000 or if you like 30,000 saying within a month obesi nye says can na back and on a me gina so aka kire mo abrochire for no particularly mota modika basi emfa car na nya adwuma na emwa ene na se for no emwa car na omde ba na entimi mwa car na wato na America ho na ana Europe na wode ba no wo sen betua duty more than this na ye dia ye adwuma na kwabna ne Ghana ne boni a hye ye ma boni ye do boni pa na kwabna ne de car na be ye adwuma na wotwe oya na wotwe ba ko osu no adwuma no ontimi ye de sika ma na na sefo ba boho no de ye tuma wa efie no mu ho no ye betimi aye ne search that mu beton nsuo no na wotwe bosume ko ne sika ne ba na eba ye benye bi dia hwe obia ne nkora eko school ne ye de bi nsuso etu school fees ne niam bebra wo ho beto wo pese wa wo monitor kra ye betimi build CCTV camera ho na wankasa kra wo ti abrochime mo na wo hwe de eko we need to mu bi eranom afi nsuso mo so wankasa mo fie nsuo mba na mo pame ye boho ne dia ma wo se nkyene asem be se ye betu a nkyene bi eni ho fa ne se ye tumpo na nkyene zo mo no we are capable enough so ye be treat ema nkyene kra na emma biom na we use nsuo no na wo kono woni obi eni asem o ya de wankasa wo ho beto na eba ma wanya ahoto me ka kire wo 2026 ya ba ne say ye be ye dwuma pa amani nipa enho atom afi real estate for musisi dan there's no need say mo be fa tankers be ennan na ekọ tanker we koba ne we aba ye metu boho be ebia enum anase nsia e wo site ho mamo na mo fa nya mo dwuma ma bibia enko nenim kama ate and any ankro nya nti wo pese ye tu boho ma ene wo ho no me prove actually this time I say bibia be kwa koye bia no e say record ne de ba kan ne yenye ne sa kantaman today ye koye over the weekend na metwa de abrem no ti mesraw obia ope bohola bomodin me pese me stay a while longer with boho intina this time me boho na advert no ubetimi afre biogas expert for 055 589 3001 and 0546 2 friends saying 2053 no 20 5 what Munka number na ho na me say me okay 0546 206 377 yes 0546 206 205 sorry 377 0546 205 377 and 055 589 3001 now biogas expert for your numbers we ni na no WhatsApp e wo so but when offer yentimi mfa anaya mfa ye fans so na say we are your office or by yentimi amfa both numbers na WhatsApp or so bombodiana ye WhatsApp recording audio recording voice recording na febra zono na wo de ba yanka se ye be de ye be frau back ni eni wedi nkomo na edwuma bia se ye be ya ma no ya ba be ya ma re kantamanto de ne ye kwa na ni o ensu ni base popopo fini ya heti clean water no edimesro menya akwadwate wankasa bo ahoto efema wo ho biogas expert ye ne yeteso the whole Ghana womo etu boho no ye ne yeteso pa over the weekend kwaku ni ya busy papa eni ya yedwuma wo soje ni peni pa de na yakwakwa ya folks enti emma ade bi how edan na opese usiu de be on ebrepa mesi aba edan so but for now ye pese nipa na bibra mu hia nsuo no mutimi enya access to water na bibia de na kwemo kama politics of tonight we turn our sharp lens to critical and serious issue raised by Citizen I Ghana. The group argues that individuals from the 3 northern regions should not be allowed to hold sensitive positions and offices in Ghana. They base their position on the claim that these regions have historically experienced more conflict, which they believe have cost the nation significantly over time. And I make a chono. Citizen I Ghana for Jitum Susu said, Dream say, Huni say, conflict across one northern one. Down south, conflict do do send a so we check input the what here in Konya Alavanyo conflict here. This is yes a conflict do, but how often NSR conflict in a renew no and ample minus say sikawum compared to that of northern region and a upper east. Akufu at the time sikatri dia yedi call boko men and women in boots and in uniform yadu omu call boko to the extent any sika ye pejaya yedi call boko era na menya asem papa na enya asem keto me say onyankopon we dig on my way afofie enu ni nara no our brothers and sisters are one more free northern region no mo on my way mo and they were all quiet na diana had when he said and to kwana banswa enyamu na muko facing to kwano the big boys in the northern region no me na south has say quiet and the most regrettable part in say afi womanka sanso eseni sika e de ko sponsor into kwana se into kwana munya dey more edwen wa menti ase me ami nuanam no wo but I know sometimes I name be bebre madwene nya adwuma okay na de e hard dwene say afi ebani in terms of governance most na mo represented the vice president position no it will be say office no eye den na mo de why can't you use your vice presidency position to resolve the conflict in the northern region in the case of why Aliu Mahama mumbi say Aliu Mahama time and why the yana etwaniti he was part of the cabinet of Kufuor. He was part of the national security architecture. Yet, adi esi wo hono no. Yeah. To the extent say, se mo be kaya, the interior minister at the time, Ayora Malik, was even accused of knowing something about. Sir, and friends on him, and a year day, when Timian solve sa issue no to Akufo Dubai. The same Baumia, Vice President, Boko crisis, no dimwakwetene. MPP, your 16th February 2025 report captured so nyame American. It will be the same person and I'm a person was hardly be. Now day 8 years, Baumia couldn't even resolve the conflict in Boko except Sika Yediako Niska Ketwa. IGP Tete Yohunu one walk on at the volatile situation Yamini Dina for Finchi this year. Ora Mahama Yaga, majority leader, when what they are told, the fear you just so a dynamic shane die. So no know what the no tito read for me pobi more and so 90 no bedroom south and on to go more. What is going on? Ni we are na oba south to Hanswa. Afi yembu company and call the big market. One more back to mo na yesebi. And my you draw ya rough way da says unkoto says soundness in the go woman na yesebe esoro hofo na mushishe politics ni NDC ni MPP mushishim and yet you still seem incapable of reversing the trend. The munim say you are capable of exploiting your own people, and I'm speaking to my northern brothers. All that you do is that you continue to exploit them. Election time na mamoms cannot me piom ne ko gusuro so monkoto aba api investors send a gusuro ho moye adwuma. Well, before we join our guests, let's peruse some sights and sounds before your guest beba na peruse AB. You see when na comes on the hills of what democracy me boy, but listen let's first establish why this philosopher called Socrates opposed democracy across. Democracy may catch America for by 1630. Democracy is about to fade. A bit fade off in 2030. But Socrates there, on one finity and democracy that no on the reason it. Socrates, the reason why he could not endorse the fullness operation of democracy. Unim Socrates, take a listen and listen to this word. Take a listen.
Socrates is one of the most famous thinkers in human history. People call him the father of philosophy. He is remembered as the man who asked uncomfortable questions and forced everyone around him to think deeper. But here is the shocking part. Socrates hated democracy. He thought democracy was actually one of the fastest ways a society can destroy itself. So why did Socrates hate democracy, especially when Athens was the birthplace of democracy? To understand this, you have to go back to ancient Athens. Athens was the birthplace of democracy. Citizens voted directly. Large crowds gathered and made major decisions about war, laws, and leadership. On paper, it looked like freedom. It looked like the most fair system possible. But Socrates looked at it and saw a fatal weakness. He believed that democracy gives equal power to people who are informed and also to people who are completely clueless. He believed that a society cannot survive if decisions are made by people who do not understand what they are deciding. Socrates explained this with a simple example. If you were sick, would you vote for your doctor? Would you ask the crowd to choose who performs your surgery? Of course not. You would choose the most skilled doctor you could find because you know your life depends on expertise. So Socrates asked a terrifying question. If we trust experts for medicine, why do we not trust experts for politics? Why do we let a crowd choose who runs the entire country, even if most of them don't understand anything about economics, war, laws, or leadership? To Socrates, this wasn't wisdom. This was gambling. He believed democracy turns leadership into a popularity contest. The person who wins is not always the smartest, not always the most qualified, but the one who can entertain people, the one who can manipulate emotions, the one who can tell the crowd what they want to hear. So Socrates basically believed that democracy rewards the best salesman, not the best leader. He also believed democracy has another weakness. He believed democracy naturally creates division and chaos. Different groups demand different things. People fight over power. Society becomes noisy and unstable. Over time, citizens become exhausted from constant conflict. And when people become exhausted, they stop wanting freedom, they start wanting stability, they start wanting someone to take control and fix everything. This is where Socrates believed democracy ends. He believed democracy often leads to tyranny. He believed that when a society becomes chaotic, a strong man eventually rises. That strong man promises order, he promises safety, he promises to punish enemies, he promises to make the country great again, and slowly, the same people who once celebrated democracy start supporting dictatorship. Socrates did not say this as a theory, he watched it happening in his own lifetime, and the most tragic part is that Socrates himself became a victim of democracy. He was put on trial by a jury of ordinary citizens. They were not philosophers, they were not trained judges, they were not experts, they were simply a crowd, and that crowd voted to execute him. So in the end, democracy proved Socrates' point in the most brutal way possible. Socrates did not hate freedom, he hated the idea that truth can be decided by majority vote. He believed that leadership is not something you choose like a singer in a talent show. He believed that if a society gives power to ignorance, ignorance will eventually destroy that society.
Socrates the no. And the Entrusting in BC was a democracy crano, a boy, and now no free in a buy. Democracy. Now, John Henrik Clark, a Pan-African scholar, bring African history to life in a way that truly worth hearing. Papa, we honestly a Pan-African. Now, if you oyi abakwa sembia efa ebibi for ye home or the tuja. Now, I believe that you have to listen to him. Ebra, ye ni abrofo ni hia no. Eniama bensa ene bibini ma broni ni hu ya. Eye worthy of say. Bibini ne ye som ye ho bo pa. Eba ne sen ne ye reduce and cry ye dey to say like a rack to mop the floor. Listen to Henrik Clark.
The African invited the European for dinner. That's the first thing he did. The Indian invited the European for dinner. The Polynesians invited the European for dinner. Now, if you invite people for dinner, first place you've got plenty dinner, and you have a society that is traditionally hospitable to strangers. The Indians invited Christopher Columbus for dinner, the first thing they did. All right, now let's look at what was happening inside of Christopher Columbus's mind, and we can go to his own diary for this. He said, I wonder why they're so friendly. They'll be easier to conquer than I thought they would be. I wonder why they're bringing such small amounts of gold. I wonder where the mines are. His intentions were not good. It wasn't good then. The intentions are not good now. And the black man is still hung up with this dinner invitation, this kindness, with the thought that if you treat a person humanely, that he will act humanely toward you. Black people have not seen white people at all. That is why they can't deal with it.
Zone, any and ne, a bibi mai, bibi ejina you. There is a growing concern about serious food contamination in Africa, with Ghana and Nigeria increasingly evidently in market. Adibi koswa SSC ye bonebia ba ebibi foye mua mini waintia ye nyomasa. Very wickedness oh. And there's a food contamination at air cost with a growing speed. Now, I would use this moment to call on the state agencies, particularly Food and Drugs Authority for Monsorio. Hey, baby, ye dikoye mu biara sesian. Ghana ni na ye nadwene se esa so send mani nua na ni nua digu ni yem no yare eno ana. Hwe ewie kra na me Enoch, me director of research, or chere me say there's something as ye yem weduma na say ya. Hwe sisi e ka say bibi ti say kube ensuo eno so ye so o ma find a way bi o mo drag kube ensuo ne say na be a wonom a obeti kube ensuo ne de. But what is this leading to? A leading to the abaya. A leading to say a being yaribi to say kidney and many are there. Meanwhile, kube ensuo, it is the only natural water in the whole wild world when Yankupon created na enya wama. Kube na swa enwa when the way it me generate ensuo ewo kube we nim. Ehina saadi we bibetimi si Yankupon nyansa no wo nipa bibini na akote kube ensuo pe na ebetimi de si nipa so like a drip manako afra ne blood no straight up check it with the doctors, they will tell you kube ensuo pe ene ebetimi de si nipa de so masa ensuo na ko ene moja na afra ne nipa na nya honde kube ensuo pe untimi ensuo bi anya hwewo bibini ne boni ne nsamo ni na ne se ono no te Ghana no emfaso dodo nti me nimade ahohoma abaye so a ama obia pesika ntese yesɛ ye ho hwade we am be ya chiro na hwɛ enwo na ye die no no obi mix oil no with something else. Why are we doing this to ourselves? Take a listen to this. Watch.
It's a public notice. If you live in Europe, any country you live, beware of this oil. I bought it. It's a poison. It's a chemical. It's acidic. If you buy this oil, please throw it away. I'm throwing this away. As I see it, I want to make sure the public notices so that at least you will not say you are not warned. Please be warned. The authorities in Africa, in Ghana, in Nigeria, look for the people that are making this oil and arrest them. Okay? We cannot be running from processed food in Europe and America. At the same time, our people are bringing poisonous food that is so expensive. We are not the only people who want money. If you want money, be careful. If you poison your customer, believe me, tomorrow you will have no one left to buy your food. Okay? We love our food. We cannot just simply because we left home, we have to forgotten our identity. And you guys are making us to be scared. I bought this oil. I use it to cook. I didn't notice it. At the end of the day, if you see the taste coming from this oil, I pour it, I open it, you will see. I pour it in a bowl. If you look how it look like him, it's very, very, very bad. It's very, very bad. The way African people are very cold, the way African people are very anxious to make money at the expense of your brother. I don't understand. The Europeans don't do like that. Whenever they want to do something, they take it elsewhere. Europeans will not buy this oil. America won't buy. The Arabs will not buy. We are the people who are consuming this. How can you be doing this? And the video is being recorded. Are you telling me that the authority cannot trace the people doing this? I grew up, I knew how oil is being processed. Okay? I'm from Nigeria. How can you be exporting this? And it's very expensive. Look at the container. You wouldn't even know how the color look like because they look exactly the same. But the oil is very horrible. When you turn the oil, no one will tell you, turn it in a plate, you will see how it look like. I'm scared. I'm scared. The diseases, that's why you see our people are looking so heavy. When you see big lap, big leg. We do not know what is resulting to all this. You see men with big fat tummy. We do not know what is resulting to this. Other nationality are not looking like that. You see a young guy that just arrived, after 5 years, he's already with big tummy. If you don't go to gym now, it's hard to stay fit. We don't know if this is the reason causing it. People are getting sick day by day. So this thing is coming from our brothers and sisters who want money. Wherever you are, be careful. I bought this oil in Germany. This oil is in circulation in all Europe and America. These people are evil, they are negative. Don't buy this oil. And any oil you buy, before you use it,
oil nina yare nkoa Iranum because me ko ha and the ebe can be brave. But then, before Mema me guest but over the weekend, a new wave of conflict erupted over the Arab world's airspace. The United States, together with Israel, launched Operation Epic Fury, reportedly killing Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. This has sparked fresh attacks across the region. But over the weekend, America President had the statement to it, or they told her, and then a room now Arab world one ayi dija nipe to wi mu pi to wi mi pom srem obi apebe bi ni tiafa Senator Trump e dey asem ne to bia emo ewiase hu sento kwakese na eba na. Take a listen to him.
The United States military is undertaking a massive and ongoing operation to prevent this very wicked, radical dictatorship from threatening America and our core national security interests. We are going to destroy their missiles and raise their missile industry to the ground. It will be totally, again, obliterated. We're going to annihilate their Navy. We're going to ensure that the region's terrorist proxies can no longer destabilize the region or the world and attack our forces, and no longer use their IEDs or roadside bombs, as they are sometimes called, to so gravely wound and kill thousands and thousands of people, including many Americans. And we will ensure that Iran does not obtain a nuclear weapon. It's a very simple message. They will never have a nuclear weapon. This regime will soon learn that no one should challenge the strength and might of the United States Armed Forces. I built and rebuilt our military in my first administration, and there is no military on earth.
Signaler, U.S. President Odeto from New. Yeah. Ama ye kasi bria ye kasi yai. Iranum irima ye dija. Now, let's see some of the surprise attacks against Iran. A broadcaster we no DN and Iran airspace one then see honum. Watch this.
Tonight, the stunning and surprise strikes. U.S. jets and Tomahawks targeting Iran as part of a joint U.S. and Israeli operation, leading to a historic moment in the Middle East. President Trump posting the leader of Iran's Islamic regime, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, is dead. Khamenei, a political and religious leader, led Iran, which is designated by the U.S. as one of the world's top sponsors of terrorism since 1989. His compound in Tehran, seen in this satellite image, completely destroyed. The daylight strikes left smoke billowing over Iran's capital, this vehicle on fire, and a crater in the middle of the city. Israel releasing this footage, striking a ballistic missile launcher. You can actually see the Iranians as they were preparing to fire. President Trump inside Mar-a-Lago, seen watching it all unfold. Tonight, Iran retaliating. Israeli air defenses taking out many of the incoming missiles and drones. Here, Israelis huddling under an overpass and crowding inside underground shelters. And also tonight, in a surprise move, the Iranian regime also lashing out against multiple Arab countries, including striking civilian targets. In Dubai, you can see an Iranian strike on a hotel from several different angles. The Fairmont Dubai Palm Hotel hit and erupting in flames. And this image from a blown-out hotel room. Here, Iranian projectiles streaking across the sky. That's an Iranian drone nearly striking the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world. In Qatar, people scrambling as debris from an intercepted Iranian missile falls on a street. In Kuwait, an Iranian drone striking and damaging Terminal 1 of Kuwait's international airport. And in Bahrain tonight, look at this Iranian strike on a downtown high-rise. Someone inside this building filming as an Iranian drone makes impact. And huge plumes of smoke visible for miles when an Iranian drone hit the headquarters of the U.S. Fifth Fleet. The Pentagon saying no one was injured.
Guys, into kwane nyadi ya muye mresao Trust me, some major international airport hit by the ongoing airstrikes. Now, Dubai, Dubai for one of the biggest hotel or Palm Beach is being struck down. Airport or Dubai airport, one of the biggest world airport. It could tell lots of international connectivity. All right, but America for now mayati as a queen be as soon as they say the supreme leader and it should be obliterated. Now, if he's going to be obliterated, then Iran forces say yes, you surprise attacks and yes, you attack America's what base, U.S. installations. And I'm near there. But Yenshire airport ban as you see Omako Hitima, Sisi airport, the airspace has been shut down. Take a listen to this. Great guys. We at Dubai International Airport. I'm sure many of you are picking Ghana for Bibria Kemuho. One more could do a mobile, one more connected flight Dubai, including our women national team, women now became more easy. So we now being there. Asamna Ebano, Anodin, a Ghanaian caught in the crossfire calling on Jesus Christ. Ghana ni be maybe she mantemho na Ebra airport na deja no the Jesus Christ no warfare. Take a listen to this.
Me will have to see a Bombay airport. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Me will have to see a Bombay airport. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Me will have to see a Bombay airport. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
Ghana need the obeying no Jesus now. And the Jesus now. Iradi yeni zinkwa. Nipe dwani to wirem kwayem sirem nipom obi pebe bi airport why busy obi pebe bi ni tiafa woni gina ho kire ebisa Jesus Christ asemo now adaje wo hoza. But guys, finally the Iran television of course has announced the obliteration of the supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. He's been decapitated. Of course, we are even learning as of late few hours now. Say, Nigeria so Atwano. Nigeria so was part of the surprise strikes on his building. Ninano Ibuguma, the Iran leader Ayatollah Khamenei ono. So, said that Trump Ekaino say yes, they need to decapitate, alright, and obliterate him, clear everything. Now, woman will say Iran for no ensign and take it back. Woman nation, yeah, can say the supreme leader no well me studies and me follow Ayatollah Khamenei no names and name were GHS1 also yeah, I've studied that the supreme leader. You know, the Western world they believe is a part of all the terrorist attacks, alright, terrorist attacks across within the Arab world or only supreme leader or sponsor all of this, the Iran Revolutionary Guard, any other terrorist groups or more Arab world or to say the fundamentalists, the Hezbollah, and many other they women now look up to him. So it was part of the Americans' target to get him down, but not necessarily say the US were looking out for what a regime change. Of course, Iranian television confirms the decapitate and also the obliteration of the supreme leader Ayatollah Khamenei. Take a listen to this.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. من المؤمنين رجال صدقوا ما عاهدوا الله عليه فمنهم من قضى نهبه ومنهم من ينتظر وما بدلوا تبديلا إنا لله إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. بعد از عمری مجاهدت حسینی و دائمی و خستگی ناپذیر.
Great guys, of course, this is a very sad period of the Iranian officials announcing the decapitating of the Iranian supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, is gone. All right? Since the U.S. force or the U.S. government is looking forward to on leaders for any bidding, but then the United States is warning Iran to be cautious about the fact that you cannot build nuclear facilities. No, it's a no-go area. But Iran is on TSC. Iran's on TSC. On TSC, you know, intimacy on TSC. And it's Iran, it give up the nuclear manufacturing and heading. And you've been here to Ghana, you better nuclear reactor. Say nuclear reactor near the heart. In Jamaica, say Ghana, yensu yene. You advance nuclear warheads and I said then and so forth. You see, the geopolitics, no, you play the game by size. It's by size. You know why? China is quiet. The Russia, Mother Russia, are quiet. Iran, I see Iran within the Arab region. What I say, I know who tinted but sometimes I say, yes, when some more day, you boom, I say, when some more you boom. I say, Iran, a level. Normally maybe at all year. What I say? Make a short break. Me by my guest Alex Kwekutete, CEO, Emma Citizen I Ghana. Tonight we will be being some so power. Meneno and any Wednesday, Eja any baby toha. Yeah, baby share about what is going on in the north. But of course, with this very crisis, it's also a developing story. We keeping an eye on this very fight. Afina, because we've just gotten some very intelligence reports there. U.S. government, I imagine, say he will pound Iran perhaps to ashes if they don't listen. And we are keeping an eye, and they will bring you more very, latest on this very crisis when it's a trickle. This, of course, the Frontline show. Your short break about Ghana Speaks Extension will take off. I'll be back. Back. And of course, this is Ghana Speaks Extension. And in this edition tonight, we speak with officials of Citizen I Ghana who are proposing that individuals from the 3 northern regions should not be appointed into sensitive positions, including eligibility to run for presidency. But folks, let me make this quick. The Frontline major explosive, expose is coming into the ministry of Christ. May I say quickly, the biggest expose in Namkwemo. Now we are in the countdown to days, and to just gauge the space. What me say the countdown to the Frontline biggest expose is within its countdown to days. How many days from now? I don't know, but we'll just start. We are in the countdown days, so gauge the space. Your prophets, your pastors, your bishop, bunch of crooks, thieves, and rooks. Tonight, my guest, Alex Kwekutete, I on why MPP me. Osansu is CEO. He's a man of many parts, a car dealer, a businessman, and of course CEO of Cytex Security. And Obabi didn't comment about your brothers Omugunov, particularly so even the presidency in Kwaku. me punch no now what is saying asem kesi ebra ye de montage no kwa bontia na Mr. Seminya cancer course kweku na asem kesi ben ye na am say citizen iPhone e raise case but e be so adena your madrum say asem we pass ye kan enti din ni yentimi kan enti din no mo hu a amomo kasa asem ekra ne enti omo ne mo ya adwene say yes we need to raise our issue ehina asem mo nwini e free e na ato for men ne
Kaku mboni yo wosom Ghana na Ghana bekayo.
Oh my goodness.
Ghana bekayo. Mamfa fidie so na menchia o ma hwefo ehwe CTV na menchia miwra kompreko anwumre we na aye mo mampeni abaso se nation address no
yeah
ekoyi oyade meka ho asemo itfm meka ho asemo ekfm na ye twa so wa na okwakunya ye nyawo ikrom ha ichimene Ghana focus na sese ye ma oman no nipa wo mu gidi na omunya ni daso because of middle class for no kofu bi wo ha omunya kwanya metna omunya nsan wo mutrim no kwaku asumpa o omo wadwen kese te se wodi bi nanso te se ye no ma ye nsem fata no nyame adom ne nya kwanya betra de a na esi timi e kan ne omo masamomo na kwaku ba minka bibi kitwe bi ho bibi koso jubri enimo seat of the government
yeah oh yeah
my ansana ya betwa ya some
god
one say wo hwe afrikiku city
yeah
omo ye building
I project bi kase bi koso why
your best president say
why security zone
yeah oko America omo White House on kwagu baby ni wa edan bi ni wa wo
ben ho akoye
ntimi men ho ka akura ntimi nko ka agere wo pese wa wu because oko fakota na oma ye ko White House on kura kwaku fa so a e be disable o ties ni nyina wo enti adena secret enka me fans of Last House baby a police for ntino kura no enka ye seat of the government for nkwa na set now wo be hwe se we fo sidan tintin bi wo jubili na chi sa company your friend say Trasaco nye Trasaco omo villaggio for no na esisa we no ni nyina esen ka band ne nsa to so no ti omo ka
aye ne
ni omo si o gidigidi no first lady former first lady Akufo Addo ye redia
this is an allegation
Okwaku me come bi agiko
me say dan we di ne
before omo niema so yakata su na this o mi bi no me kata yes Mr. say infidodo ni nyina no oye de no nya
beautiful Rebecca
yes my beautiful Rebecca na okay last week Professor Kwame Janye interview bi wo net we say Metro o se ensase a omuto ye nyina bandada ne ensase a gaban ensase omuto nyina no o ma fa kwampa so ne toy but me de kwakuma bro document next week anase ukuada no me de nkofo a names a omuto aban ensase nyina me de bro ha
na me list ni wo de ya
na wo boni a MPP fo ni didi o man Ghana
basa we MPP na wo so pankrofo ho ntamasa
ni asamira ne yere oni ni kunu wodi obohun sase se names no se me saka from the minister from the minister of lands
ba kunu de ne bundle bisa
omo so omo na yes adwuma we na wodim se me nyame nam kan yo obi enim se landlord ho anehire sa professor Kwame Jane ono so na da omo board na no a omo hwe sansa se kwaku etan intiminya daji tie papa ne pa na o de bi me de me ka kire aban we se wa be Professor Mercy de kakra eno no abeye ne de eno wasan ba biu nti wa so afnemo 3 times tina dawroma ofili ayen fenche no kruma said the little mistake na yeru John Dramani Mahama ofilia ye fenche ni bako kura
o meimu
nti ne obeye bia ebema Ghana for yenya ne mujidie eto aba over 1.6 1.7 million yeto aba 1 million ana anyesa ene de ma no nti won hwe ne ye na baby se wo de niam toto bi ese be ye no goodbye yesro Ghana for nya mujidie nti e ma ye lusu saa jidie ne kura ma ye lu ma ya ba mu na media e ana me yem hyehyeme ma ye seat of the government wo hwe jubri enim ho traffic light ho ba ko mienu kura ne o ensese baby a o mampani ona ho de na traffic light kura ba ho e ho nye baby e say e so red kura ne nipa ginatimi e hwe ho but wo de ko abija na hwe o seat of the government hwe se ne o ma ye nti yesre omo ye national security coordinator wo de wo no wo ye COP wo san ye police penny as your friends Razak won't say as many more no munim security hu bibia kufadu peja o ma na peja o ma na odi omkoto ho no Razak wadawroma sa places no adwuma na omoye no ese modi omonsato so because the whole security zone no mujai because baby any ho wiase mu the seat of government we betimi akoye buildings to say e ho nyina no enkefi asarande Jubilee house ho nyina no kaban de nsato so
anyway yan hwe de beba
wadaroma o mampani ye de ye bo wapum ne ya mo ho se ho hiaye o ma e seat of government no bia ho hiaye because ho nye baby a o man ni ti nyina ne ho ti wadaroma Ayana ehuhiya pa.
Kwaku so citizen I Ghana yazem gesiwi amafo dia na edi matemo sai adentini ye me raise asem but e free mo medumako e ho sabi ye nua no mo free so ho
esro no
didn't na citizen I ehwe o mo se ma ye ma wo mo hold
ma men kan se mo nche Ghana fo ye beto e free say ye chechire Ghana no wo mu se nkofo abako na media metimi aka ne plane se kwaku se ye de yen south of we wa hai ye de nyina ko no fa ye nkra ye be konto kwachen se ne omoku
nti ka se ha se
on dia je eho kwaku ni petimi nante na ne hwini mu firi moja ewia no situation no
so na me try
e more than power me try to malika dan lad na me kan dan lad ka mobo petrol na kwel e kuka bokofo nso ka so what is it ma tena okakra gogu esro holding na ni nti e ma me ka se time nka e feel limai ba vice president ba ko no Aliu na Bawomi also be vice president
so for only 3 northern
yes omunyenwe na ye ka ministers dia kwaku wuntimi nkan omunya serious positions ano odin then so omuntimi enje nka wo de yewura mahama kra ye fa nkan ho so ka ho nka obaye
so 4
yeah it's in case say ono de wabe ba akoko asan baby ke say omudi wo mani kire soro ho nanka omuhunu say no yen ya ye wo forma no esorofo hu nya ye
exactly
kwagu say si woni mu a hwe na hwe sene omedi positions nyina na hwe sene esoro da so te e ho ye basa omo so omo benya bibi nanka omotimi ne e de ato aban nanim from parliament e bepem presidency no omo hunu say okay yen kofo na e wo soro ho no omo break too much nti no a good time a esesi etimi ye dey ye develop esoro ho Ira Mahama ba first one obey president we develop esoro ho o ma ye development bia but hwe say presidency abenyina no obi aba o make sure say south no mo ye he nti nka wonya sa akonye no esoro ho de nka sese kwan bia so a kwaku mbetimi a chechire so wo yi na ma form ha no ye ho atoye because Ghana yisika yesi nyina ne nti ye kan zanze ye chese ye ready hu say yisika ye say wo mamu nyina no esoro ho kuku entokwa ye timedi police ka akura akọ IGP kura ka ne akotutuo ne de abo mi hu bi kura da na saa nneɛma wei nyinaa kɔ so saa ma kwaku kyɛ sɛ de bia ne yɛde asogyafoɔ yɛde polisifoɔ yɛde national security foɔ kwaku sɛ ɔman ne kyerɛ sika a yɛsɛe ɛwɔ nɔɔden hɔ a woyɛm bɛhyew nti den na ɛbɛma saa nneɛma wei ɛturu bɛtwa ɛwɔ ɔman mu hwɛ speaker of parliament wofi soro hɔ kɔna kɔhwɛ soro kɔhwɛ ne kurom na kɔhwɛ sɛ neɛ hɔ ɛsɛ na busa time a wɔde ba aban mu ɛbɛpem saa mmere kwaku
right honorable speaker back then
yes
from a year
yes
and you remember
adwen nti me de me sɛ Ghana fo sɛ yɛma yɛ nimra yɛ ho so sɛ appointment a yɛde ma wɔn soro hɔ no menyɛ sure sɛ ho nya yɛmfɛ ma south fo no yɛntimi develop ɛhɔ kwaku na hwɛ Pualugu Dam yi ɛnɛ ne nansan ya yɛwura ba wɔn ayɛ vice president over 11 million to $12 million. So what I say? Minim sa dam no or crack every US na no de koto ho. Say you tu ni krom ho and a dam $11 million.
Baomia can send be far home. But ebi na once in a year.
Okay.
MCR read me.
Almost started
Ghana Speaks Extension.
Idea important.
Yes. Baomia
Baomia Kufuor Abemo omatimi.
Great. Yentie Baomia sa asem no say na o kire se dam no o me wie anomu wie no ebi a me man ti no kwaku nso antini yentie dia Baomia ka o sa Pualugu Dam no na yemfa ya access because eno no ma yeti ase se one of their signature project ever since Nkrumah time na da pono so dia na Baomia was our project no. Take a listen to this one.
In the northern part of our country where you come from, and Amono, can you beat your chest and say, yeah, yet this signature project in the north?
I think the most important project here in the north since independence, the Pualugu Dam project.
Okay,
is the biggest investment. So we're drawing books no since independence.
Okay, I watch
government be by yes Pualugu Dam, but we're here as a signature project. And in Ebeda number one, so there's no doubt about that. Pualugu Dam, no, it's.
A few moments later,
I have no doubt in my mind that I was championing the Pualugu Dam. We have not yet been able to do it, but by the grace of God, I believe we are going to do the Pualugu Dam. It has to be done. It's a major priority because that can bring 23,000 hectares into cultivation.
Great. As I say, at Chino Street.
We
I mean, one say you could for, but we are
say I refree. And I say, didn't know about me, I can't say.
Edian refee. Kwagu, as I say, oh, you're criminal, but me was like, oh, you're criminal.
No.
Because Pualugu Dam,
no, wait, the word criminal name.
Now, who names about me a criminal? Oh, criminal.
No, Kwagu.
This manner, this one.
Debbie, redraw the word.
Debbie. And you who young Kwambu tape, no?
When nobody yet perceive.
Yes, Bible said, when no one something at the Bajajo, and Yami, but here, you're Kasaka,
and what's a Marco Emiano, meaning say we need a crack. And a criminal so let's get that word out of
Onipa and Namwa. Evia, we are Diani or a Diani be any woman was through you. Would get me sick. Hey, Busom, we are Coco on a man.
And you need an test. Say, Coco, me say, they are talking about a war system. No, yet they are talking about the kind of a byron.
Ensure once a man, you can't offer, and they may aware. Uni ho idea na so also wo ho idea enka wo nka sa enti se mo ba ebenya position yenye Pualugu Dam ebeboa esoofo ebesevo aduane a omo ye.
Could you believe the MPP for emphasis can antoma Baomia na ntimi amfa nyade na na asese?
Oh, how? When the catch se can na omo deliver na de ntini ye boso ne omo deliver nke kan $11 million to $12 million. With this can Baomia this can wo mara enkofu gusoro omo bre into omo kasa na omo de omo nkofo na omo ye ma omo position a omo ntimi enye adwuma no enti how come say mo be kasa ye de Baomia ba for MPP for munim sa story yina kwaku no hwe unya MPP ni don't seem memye sympathize bi am MPP ni o I'm telling you sa MPP hack ni ho no omo timi tena sa hye bone enti say youth no yen fa ye ho adwen.
Oh, sir.
Oh, serious. Kwaku when ho am dey sign no. Me chia $27,000. when we nam the sign no app no aye ready na o ka se first na ye si o you we MPP ni into we no hwe nyeye o ye ndc ni kwaku sisi no Ghana e benya 70 years sisi Ghana wo 69 years
69 chewo
yes
anyway
oh who are they nam this man me say
so we no ya mo data no wa
database
database
so
yeah na we person you do two screens man
o dey be twen say me ye bia me dey ye be we say dey be ye bad bible kura say onyame ma yeti asese asase so atumfo no eni omo ntena wonimdie mu nya se omo ba ha wadwen ti omo nye ti oni omo dele eni omo ntena wonimdie mu
so na di we pa mani abreo
ye ni abre se me ba wo me ase me pese me ma Ghana fo eni pe to abama MPP omdodo esei ni pe to abama NDC e kan mu nyina bo omdodo esei Ghana ni pa 35 million ya target se ye pe 15 million.
So
the base in fast 7.5 million. Ghana First Political Party PAG in some fast 7.5 million.
No, Ghana Political Party.
Oh, ye chemu mi no say ye wo fufu ndime no mo nkwan. Say pese bubu MPP no. Say what I
say. Free party mu.
Yes, say adwembonefo na ewo mu no. Say ba o me na lead o mu to bone nti enso ye bo o mo say ne o mo pe no. Ye say ne owu no. Ne ebo no. Usu ani abo no osu sa na toro ne kan. Ne o sere ne abo no ade. No asere. O mo esere no abo mu. Nti ne pese
ye what is going on?
Yes. Uko app ne so a app ne be ma wo. Udin wo full name, wo date of birth, wo maami din, wo papa din, baby a wo to aba. Wo ye Ghana ni a wo fin se yewura kan Japan wo fi se o start ne political way ne waye hospitals ma na waboa mo wo de wo don kube na na mawiem 10 cedi na abenya utia ebe ma wo access bank account wo wo bia no ne ye besan so card na ye be no ye be make sure say card no on premium wom ye will be more executive so what I say will be ho be donate kase wa utie sika bo an campaign ba ko no wo de kakra wo benya bia no fato so ye wo sika target sisi ye mpese ono ade ni sika ba bi wremu bim yen Ghana fo no ena me sene won say Europe won sa country no am sene ma Europe 2019 o man kasa no ko parliament passes say omo koka kire obi say wo kwagu na ye pese obeli say bi ne ye pese ye Kennedy so on ye sisi de ye enforce no o so wo na MPP omo be ye database no enye dede say fe na ye ko guarantee interview wo de database ni hia wo koso a udin wo ho wo pese o contribute 100 Ghana 200 500 no watu ya wo de card ni duru ho ne ye card na card no e be che ba bi a wo bia no o picture a data no be busa wo data na o picture na do picture nso ato wo Ghana card e be request o party card e be request obi bi obe wi ne 10 cedi de be say ye pese ye wura Kennedy be president o say o ho for jobs Kennedy for jobs enkofo me wie school university o mote wo mu nya dwuma nye okofa onomba o me akọ Bank of Ghana nansen wo free Bank of Ghana na 3 bedroom a otimumpo Bank of Ghana for ne board auction man no enei kohwe ensase a me kohwe cantonment ensase unim names a me hu ensase asem na ye kan unim names a me hu kohwe ensase adan a ba wo me wo se ne yama na anya hwi wo kruma wen ne kan kire wo enne Arab fo ya America fo chesi o mu se kan o beje koye campaign ye ti kroma na Arab fo di jabatu kroma mo ti wo Christian council mo ti wo se ye nto abama ba wo
yeah
unim owu ahwe na me ne ngofo we mi nteki om sa o wo hu se ne soro hwaye no e fitama Kwame Nkrumah wan ne ma compensation ma nima no e hwan ya
oye ne
nima ye se omutua aban bi tua wo tua nsa tua Nkrumah se wo hwe
and all the scholarships call no for who scholarship what ye na ye go school
scholarship no ma mencho your friend say abrofo no ne o ye takra report na friend say
me refini din
oh mekaya ono ene din kan say esoro hofo no school hu hia o ho ye den dodo nti no omo nti o de kwaku ne America no o de for wadwen koso na hwe o de opa ye chi am robbers tena eya akohwe names no ye chi tena wo benya akandin woman na etupe ene uko prison yard a wo de ko check prisons na ko prisons no nyadaje na ma wo de se nim se wo ye we se what I say o check here obehu over more than 60% omu nyina e nordness e dentia ohun tem kroma bae na ohun saa no ene ma omo free education nti omo no man start school ni ntem kwakunya meken nanka bepimo ene kan yenu ama no mkwala nketwa eda so etwen kaya yo ede eba na waba abeye omampani abedi akire wo nie wonya hu nyina da no wo hu se de bi me nkofo ne
Takrade port na we Frederick Gordon Goggisberg
yes ono ne declare ono asem na meken ono ne declare say no ofofo no omo hwe omo hu se omo wa hodene nti omo school hu hia ma omo eni eja omo nti nkroma ba na onu hu se school na kachi amesoro ofo ne dodo ene ma omo free education no so nti bepim nei kwaku me see what ne sire mu da obo hu se areho yenkofo no omo hia moa
aho de
yenkofo na ye mo appointment no omo ye no ofofo no eho hia see the appointment be mo because all the mama omo nkai omachi wo pese o kire se muntaka mo ne ade ba parliament da dey no mo start say omo ma ban ne hunu say da bi esoro wa kachi dodo ye pam chew ye nuanum ne omo bedi nsu omo benom hwe men kan kwachi covid ba ye kufadu chiske esoro ho mkoma 500 Ghana unim business anko for the obi to kraman wom obi edwa na omo didi say COVID trust for no say wo hie bi na so no ote na o kire 500 Ghana na ye de ma wo no emo eboa onkofo wo soro wa
really
kwaku ubenu hu na say ye masa nkofo we nyina appointment akese na still na no esoro ho da so ye tese ne yete yenim say ho ye den enti ye person ka mo build bibi say mo ba mo ma ban ni ban ho so say da bi ho ade ye hia ye nsuo na ya ma yes
ade investors is into me go
and investors na info na de ombeko omuslemfo na ko for investors kra ba ombe so omji omsga za na omde omako si e mesle ni appointment a masajai ni trimo denche bonsam me na make kiro so what I say enti omo no timi abasa otoa abesisi omo dan ene ade enti omo nwen nkofo na e wosoro ne ho na nkofo gusoro no mo kem so omadua binsi ento omadua toko ye nyankofo nto omadua we masa na ye kire kwan omo fa so omatimi aye adwuma na omo ndo ba ya so na bepem sa me ya kwaku ensem no eye fully package kwaku me de mesre omampani se obi bia wo free no off no senka ye be ma appointment a na entokwa ni beja ya ye ma obi from south ni ye de ne ko no akoyi obehwe no mo develop wo se omo no ejato boko a enka omo
debi
properties be ne wo wo person chem se ejato kwa usisi a uni nkofo properties ejato enkran a ejato Ashanti region eastern region a hwe wo de hwe suna omo di fi boko no hwe enu ana hwe nima time enkroma time o ma gi ni me kromo ni ma bronsen wo fa main road ne ho a abronsen wo yem se be 5 pe baby a papa ya wi ni MP na nsan
na ya fine simple
papa jama wo de hwe kwan na Africa da be pimwe na hwe se ni ma wo krom na hwe se ni o ma giwa o mo so na sense ka wo enka dadadai enka yade a ko mutimi develop ho na nka ban pani masombo so meden ye bejo hwe se ni hote utwema play kure twema na wo de utwema hwe se ni mate yo musuni o mo ban ofin se ko ufu ana asantefo ana achemfo ni gu sa ni ma ho ya ko mbeme ho na ise
entimi sisa
ka ho ye estate because gate down
baby this say ko say now say obema conflict abako memu a
yen fan ko fu we yin chichiro man sana pesa me chiro yen fo mo chichiro man ye mo boaye wo de o me leaders a o mo be gu aban o mo be gu
kwaku mbisa question MPP mobile ban mu part of conflict and mobile resolving was boko saying anamo tuo say na ekomu boko crisis
kwaku boko crisis no de o kan ebeje onsem yebre kufuado eye omo ye ni biala senka nanka obesi ohene na momo ono ankasa na waye omo lawyer man for 20 solid years nti wanye uhun se e too danger and obiara nim say since 1957 Ghana nya independence almost pay independence asase ni de obiara nim say asase no e ye man police for ne dia but o man police for ne kofre mo bok friends kusasi for no o mo ye o mo dia no o mo ne kofre man police for ne say o mo meboa o mo na o mo nye den na nkofo ni o mo ko asase ne ho e no mbeboa o mo nti obiara nim se okrom a Supreme Court kra ewuruli e dia man kusasi for no. So what I say? Inti obiye nim say eyo mo dia. Obiye nim say
kusasi asase.
Asase ni kusasi for dia. So what I say? Ba omi amunkofo na e mamprosi for. Ena obiya nso nim say omo dia omo ahensem no omo na ye king of this thing omo ahensem ne honim dia. Tinkofo wi no omo ye omo asase. Omo dia ne say mo di so mfi duduo nyina bepem sa amri. Na na kra ye nya independent. Inchi omo so pe omo independent. Inti wo die aban we buy no nyame adom wetimi akoye no feast e dia mamo nti mo fa mo hene na mo fa ne nko na we ne yanyi obia because boko no ye din kan declare say Supreme Court kra nya aka the Supreme Court aka na dia biem hwotum fo be declare na nsen ye obekan say ono de ese ne obeya asumji be ba obekan boko asemi a ode to ho ma yewura mahama because ekufado ne de ne start ye ene yewura mahama beto aso de shi otum fo nsa won hu se ne onsi ache boys ni bi so ye sure say we are yeah
meaning pa
so hwen sema boys kan say on be ma Ghana terrorists ayede aba hwe won adwen e wo sankofo witrim wo say ye fanko we say the same people no ye from mu bi me president na ye de ombe president a wo fin say ne ada opponent no e kwan be na omde ombe fa so now we kura no bawumia eni ahumobro timi ma enkwala e wo school dem mema omo koboko wa uni ade omo ye e ma be se omo fo mo se nka omo enkwala mema na enyi no ye chirum twom titi se we koku mananda
Arab world e hwana
na terrorist fu enu ti na me say Christopher na omo di a chiro omo ye yemfa bawumia mfa omo ye mesere hwe enya na wo me say
ye be religious
enya na what ena say no de ewum sa baby a whole word no one get us religious ni politics enya 2 weeks me fan 2 weeks ana 3 weeks me uwi a wankasa ko police headquarters fulani fo se milanko fo akwachi obi o metwa ni tisi we wia na ntwie keke
what is that minimum za case
me say enya
handle case
Ghana friends we special operations
me aware of the case
we nyina no en tackle Christian for no and tackle community no Christian community no they are calling say say me hwa eyeme nwa nti yen de ye ni abre si be bibi e de abo man Ghana
kweku yen try say be understand wo say eye bibi na ma wo ntimi hu wo mabra bo no say de so mo bo no ti say yen aye wo south ha ne ye bu ye suban bi ne ti say de tie no mo no nti sa cheze afibu kompona hwe se omema regions ina no obekọ no wo mu asebe de wo ye sebsebe nkusi djuma nam ni ade na kaye fo na fisro parties ba nodness mpenimfo na hyehyem ni ntumi hwe se saade yin free yakom ni yama ye nuanom ba na nsa nko page man rather wo mo sanso ye den eyi so mo de ye nkusi djuma na sa we de both parties nya ye guilty as far as our brothers so mo free so ye
some guys say ye documents mi wi am de bebro hwe ne tie ne say e sa na ti o de hwe nkofo ya America fo ti ne make you America fo akwakokuni Arab ni yo makokuni ayatola no wo de omo be yi o mani afri so a omo no sankofo wi no ade e friend facha omo ni me omo be twen na enya bi a 20 years 30 years omo be revenge am American for sene wo me ye wade
omo say death to America o maka kra death to
America me say sankofo na ba o me akwaji o msika de be ye campaign no wo de ye nyina tikruma me say sankofo wi mu no ye friend facha no omo ni me ye yen no ne ama yenya lucky ne say kramufo na ewo krom ha no ye ni omo na ti school dem kramuni ba ko da asro na bibini ba akani ba ko edafo nti omo ne ye abenantia na omo fa yesu ni bi nti omo ayeden omo nye saa nsamone no no ma te se ba omi kromfo na nsamone na edidi omo adwen mu no wan te se ye ni krom ha no mbeka se police ye ni police mfro ye ni soja mfro ye mo
1 week
masa akani be ne betime bie na no aka se mo
tese no mo be tore mo hu
akani be ne betime bie na no aka se mo yi e wo krom ha
ebi ntimi
say ebia kwawu ene friends ana achim ene asante enya issue as achimfo ni nyina efra asante ne bae so what I say inti no say me say me hene ahyeda de matena se akere me say me nananom ba no omufri kokofu internet say yen ya sifri kokofu straight o enye the same asante no mbebo o masese wo achim aprade ho no so what I say na se obeya de na omunwen say kwaku betimi atena se mi atwa kolati akola school ni wo akani be ne betimi aye be omo no won say nantwie ba akopenti no omo de obi ato watwa niti
a confirm baako
uni eja confirm ye mehu me dia me ka nantwie
first northern region
yeah
abudu sanandani is there
eno de
ko si say anoso a confirm ya
enti the way na me din kan ka che say ahokere na ewo
so a national discussion and how do you
yes na me che say ahokere na ewo no say ye de yen ewo south wa ye free ha na ye de ye konof na ye de nofofo ni nyina ba ha ye be ko a chense ne omoko no Koko, I'm telling you. Oh, there be any serious. A whole situation, no, you different.
And I said, "Dear, yana."
Say, omono, you blame me, you know. Then, omo de beba, ya mom appointment, ya mom appointment. Then, omo de beba on board. Our parliament and the presidency said they be young call for no. As I say, a building north ni. As I say, a churches, a honey. Na, yenya, na, ubi, a unity say, north. Temale airport be international airport cargo planes be dey ebedi ehurisane
exactly
wa afa niam akọ wiase nyina ba bia mo matena sia plan bone se akwa wi ye be make sure se ye be bone atia no na wo se me njintum se ya to abawi nti no eye eno ano no etu nkotwulu ba bia etwere debi ye be hye ne foforo nye tese first ni bi mu kwaku ye be hye ne foforo ye pese mo mu se CPP create mi guye
yeah
ana wonim
yeah CPP
ana kwasi platinum no ma ba mabu so what I say kufuo sisi kufuo mu nyino o ma ba mabu MPP mu inti nye first na dwen na ne danko fotum se o da bi MPP ne de na na sano payment se afenyoma ka yua ne mu UTV oh fe yi ewrade kasata ma MPP na ewrade kasata mse o de unim ne ba kwa pedade eche aswa sisi so mu 87 mebo mu 87 parliamentarians
yeah
be make sure say MPP na omunya bimpo omunya aboro so bi 27 parliamentarians no mo hunu se eye nkofo na Ghana fo na ewofo no na ma mo ye MPP fo kuku ya test ground no kuku ya to abawi nya nansa na nka makoto app be $27,000 say yenye app yenye data yenye we adwuma ne nyani dede no ye yade no ye hyehade no ye wie ne la chema Ghana fo a ya ko lanche wo Kumase ya lanche wo Nkran all the region capital regions no wo bia wo believe say Canada brabo bebo nyina wetimi akosi cardio ama 37 wetimi machine bi ase wo hospital bi careful nipa wa boom akodu abruchire obi bia contribute ye pese yan Ghana for ye friend say papa ye unim de no ye pese odi belidi oman ne maye na nipa nya adwuma ye na nkofo na adwane kwa bruchire ni na no kwaku obi wa bruchire otwa edan ka $1,000 obi twa 2,000 obi twa 1,008 nti obeye adwuma be wie na at the end of the day no me wo boys bi breko Arab country ko drive ye oma bafie oma dwuma om ko ye nyina kodi nkofo bi ko wutwa mo traffic light ase keke kra 12,000 what's some Ghana is count 12,000 Ghana cedi police nyina ho bi nyina ho bude twam na ko so what I say yen ye bibia ye chese ye nya obi oye nimdifo oman ne chechere nya din ho ne hia so obenya good leader inti nkofo wi mu no omo bade be reche wo mu inti se wo bi wo ho a kwagu se wunya me wadom na wunya adwuma bi adwuma efa nkofo a memfa hia ni trimodin wo ma appointment mu obi a woni bia kwagu wi a wonwen ho me na mka kire
because wo hwa so far Ghana appointment ya dey ma nipa wo mu na
se me kana se me se
no bebre wo mu ni hwe
mi uni mun nkofo odi ahwe aban we kura ba hwe nkofo a wa ma appointment na hwe ade na hwe ko ko American na check Donald Trump ne ministers appointment no check hwe nkofo mo appointment no na fa be check Yewura Kufuor ne Mahama appointment if you we are be say
comedy ni po
ye wo kwantwa I'm telling you so what I say nti kwaku edin betebe once I your life no de ye woni da so se be be me pese me hye Ghana fo nyina bono mo ti ase se obi amfa ne hunjim yen na de ne affect ye nyame adom ya benya free education nyame adom Yewura Mahama say or ye we say friends the speed to Kumasi no train the binye train no or so ye express road
express road
yes o kan no eno na ma me bo na baso no Kumasi kwan ni hia yen
papa
ko mama kwesi am akwata te ho udidi men obi enche no onu akotwa to mu na Burkina kasi kiri onam Kumasi ko baba ku bia na wo ka asai so what I say inti ye hia leader ade amahama aka no many Japan nation address no man wo hwe ye nko ya
muhu ne sen
perfect kwaku nation address no man no Yewura Mahama me de metu chama no baby asa anye ya na se o se enipa 7200 obeche wache nkoko 13000
when them say a slip
slip me hu ni say na 13000
sure
and na wo kan say wache nkoko 13000 so what you say e dey am be nipa 7200 and e ko dane na wo he scholars yi kura mo kan de bia say wo kasa no anu amfoma na te say onye dey onye we because you mess kura na oko lectures a on fa book bi enkura no so no le chabrofo onu kura du ba bi e come ne me kura no ntimi nka so what I say nti ene kasa me hu say na no na etene but me pese me magana 40 say kwagu se wo ye NDC ni na wo nya MPP ni na wo jana ete se ne wo hia police ni a wo hia amroba na ade amroba chia nso obe police ni o hia uniform obeku ni sisi
obi suggest say citizen I Ghana baby amu free banner mo ya tribalistic in the sense mo pese sebi esro for nso ebenya akwenya ewo
ye de amom free baby omuntime mo nkofo no nti wo de ye mom appointment a yemfa so wo ye mpekura a yenyi umra ha ne yemfa south fo ni bi nko sa me ma dwen no because nkofo no nye nna ye start say omunya MP yes yenum say wonya MP but se mra bi wo ho ana president no wakonya se mra ne se president ne ne de executive powers ni nyina ama no nti wo ye MP a na wo firi wa opekura o ma appointment bia o ma obi appointment from south ne yemfa ne ko straight na yan start see be develop so
because mumu susu say development na
ya ma makwenya na chest na no ne won nkofo ne te ano mote so as I say so obi bedo bayire obi bedo emu obi bedo beans obi bedo awio na onya tofo na kwaku kohwe omasete ma me say me di mani hu covid we na your friends say na nado ma omo koche omo sika no 500 kwaku na aweho but omani jeye kwaku me so pa bio phone lines na say obi obefre bi emfiri esoro ba bia covid trust for no ekoche scammer o no man for my dance di obi hu omo say aban no nam sna 500 Ghana it me change obi life 500 Ghana yes record ni nyina e wojubiri omo wo e wo ho 500 Ghana cedi changing ko fo bibiri life e wo soro nti enkopim da ben and ye be mom appointment na nkofo no ne ye tie na saa ne tie how na wo waba na sampe na wonya wo se tam na obi se oba ono de o makwan na saa de ni nsi a mo se onu momu yibusue ni nti yen pene so na yen fa ba wo miamra na ba wo mia kohwe walwale kohwe ni kru walwale no ne hotie na kohwe cantonment adan aba wo mia burogu menchi oba wo mia property se wo kroma nanka nyina
madwene mo say studies na
onfa
amanto mutimi develop it soro hosa and we MPP ni ne mo ba o mia dintia
enye MPP nkwa both ni nyina
I know
MPP NDC omo na omo anti omini enhwe esoro hoyi so what I say free so wo hwese nkroma e ma omo free education no na ban foforo ban no hu se no da bi ho no esoro ho no insuo sam ne ade ne se ne ewia no ne ade nti no ye pese ye de capital city ne kura bia straight eko te sese ne yenye esro te se ne o ma yete male no banks wo we call hwe development aban ka se e bia e kro we nyina ye bubu ni nyina esi ne foforo hey one thing China ni bi
sure
when China ni sikani te say Greater Accra opamu obia loketi wo de wo ko bebe foforo enu o si adan ni gu wo so what I say oui ni o ya sho say ni din be pepa
development pa ni din be da ho afebo
sanity sana me person kesoro ni enso etimi free south wa niam me pek ne Kennedy say yen ye be free south opese ye be free south ni akopa dwuma ye wo.
Oh, no. Sana, yes.
There be Sana Kennedy kind.
I see.
When the speech or the way in Shasha or the two was say, or Ben Bekisho say within the 4 years, no, because media and you may be. And then me feel me clone by and I'm a friend who feel I'm going to me who say, and some be Koswa, almost say, Chimen Sam Busuba or one Pamno gate. So be a maha. One Casakrana, first lady would say, or Bahadabe will be a maha. Ni free America by Friday ni kwem. I know say there be. And me say 5 o'clock asem na make
you been in amrium sa.
Say
wa ba ho ya pa.
O si Chairman sa na me tete no media ne so. Chairman sa bonso akokene di wo e no ma me ne omo opamon no. And also be ma. Nti adan ya rumors no omo fa nsem ni free fa. Inipa ne ato abawie. What ni ba bi o ye na adwuma wo dwen ne ho. And then na san kan we e kina na mo san kan we mu nye ntina asese okay nipa no ne nkofo ne omu ye nyina no wo se on de ni hunim bi nti no ya yenko ye nuan ho nku busan se okay ne anya wo de bia no yesrew enya esi awie etu nkotwere ne etwere me nko bia wo fin se o kasati a wo bia ye de naba nkwala enie yesrew papa wonim se wo da yu no ye koye nim a enko muntimi ntu anamo bia sa ade na moma ni na no ntena ne ba bi nso yen de yen nye onu me ko ha na dwen 4 hours Friday na me 2 kwan no se me crowd ono kwa na me gi me fu ewo ne ho me ka chen se o ma me fu no ma me 3000 am ka chen se ulmai ye app ye wi ye pe foundation no Kennedy Foundation no account number ye de ye politics no ye pa account number no ni enya wo mobile money account number na Kennedy Foundation no ye de a share app nim into obi ekreke so a obehun sa account number no ho ni opese otua 100 Ghana 200 500 we know because what's the baby opese obe part of it.
Oh sir.
Yes.
Ntena say enya de
ya o say ya de ye ni enya ya de ye opese obe part of it. Me say 4 hours the 4 hours o make us sa no to no we na me say papa ye mpini so
I see.
Wo de wo say enya ya de a ye no ni problem but also mfa mama enrizi amame first lady enrizi onu ankasa o say dabi tina say ya take responsibility Ghana for memu wa yen ye pese sei ene ye
I see.
Na ye hunu say no papa ye bem na ye bibia maye because enkameka say o we bia ye nyina no ye nkambom obi busa say o amanfo busa me say na ade ntina mu nyina me ne de base ye bia me support 100%. Bem pese me chom say ya forming another line so a eno so e can the base ne ho ye Ghana First Political Party PhD no na nioma ye beye wo krom ha no omom de omani be hu me say ye target no the base in fa 7.5 million Ghanaians ne enso ye fa 7.5 million Ghanaians na ye nhwe ade ne ye nhwe MPP for dodo om say om to abachen Ghana for
Liman be di ade no muhu Liman ambo
na dia na wo ye wo Liman ba ade no ye let be catch me some confo abobi aba ne record da ho
ai
obi akwa me nkroma record do da so da ho
Liman's not a nod now.
Honestly, a nod now. But no, you're Christian. But omu ninim dia ye di amembu ye de chichire. But media me hu ne say omu ye nkofo a ye di omu ya boafo omu nye leaders. Sana me.
Great. Omu ya boafo omu nye leaders. Folks, anyway, Citizen I Ghana for the omu dia abanono. Mama share 1-2 message me and sorry so say Brakwekum. I just like how this man telling the truth. I wish the president would also listen to your this program. May the Lord protect you all. Okay, what for the there would the link be sedeba. I don't know. Yeah, not links in my car so. Well, so good evening, Kweku. I am watching you live all the way from Barcelona. Kweku, this man Alex Tete is very hypocrite, man. He's calling someone a criminal. He's a criminal man down. Anybody. God, was a good job, Kweku. God bless you. Anyway, minima de kwa alesa yentima wukansa.
Well, say criminal.
Michael.
Ashalaja.
I say I would like President Mahama, in considering the 24-hour economy policy, to invest heavily in at least these two key sectors, Kantanka Automobile, to produce 4x4 pickups, SUVs and saloon cars for our ministers. Debts and agencies, or departments and agencies, and the cotton industry to supply raw materials to support textiles, manufacturing, factories like ATL, GTL, etc. Additionally, the aviation industry has the potential to absorb more employees if Ghana Airways is restored. First, okay, Ghana Airways, this is Ziano, Modi, Ohona, Choba, Ohoni, Wufufu, na Hosuna, Mudidi. Good evening, Annan. May God continue to protect you for your hard work. What's my father saying about Baumia is true. A woman born about 3 weeks' time, and the family of Baumia go and slaughter the woman and the baby. This Bashir from Ashaman. Hey, Asamena okay. First message near Simon. Anyway, Kweku, good evening. Your guest once was an NPP, right? What's happening now? If you leave the Nordness without position, it would be a disaster. We have to teach them how to live with brothers. How you ever seen Kojo Asante to be an MP in Tamale or Bolgatanga? All the Nordness are enjoying living in the south. You are right somehow, but let's be careful. My brothers, please never dream of war. Nana Kwame Odiwe Ebaye. Okay. Also Odian Maminka last one we free. Good evening, Mr. Kwekwanan. Please, I need Mr. Anoche Frimpon's number. What is it for? Okay. Good evening, Kweku. With my intelligence, I can tell you their leaders is not dead. They are hiding him for America to stop destroying their country. When did they bury their army commanders? And why haven't they buried him? It's a strategy. They are used to see if it's work. Okay, you're talking about Iran-US conflict. Yes, Anna. Okay. This is the title given to the former president Akufo-Addo. Hello, leaders are fueling the flames. We are the ones being destroyed completely. UN, wake up. Stop the madness. Demand peace, not war. Our future is at stake, and silence is not an option. This is time for African leaders to speak with one voice. Africa is a stakeholder in the world affairs. Okay, Eko Thomas Odifri, Tema Eno Debaye. My name is Roland from Adenta Housing Down. My own suggestion is that maybe in 1957 Ghana got independence on March. That's why the month was chosen among the rest month. Okay. Also Odia Ode Ebaye. Great guys. Say DC Hanamna Yekone Yeba Wednesday near Betwaso. Alright. But like I said, gauge the space. The Frontline biggest expose, religious expose into the body of Christ. Your pastors, the prophets and bishops is just right in the countdown days. Yes. Gauging the space. Yeah, they bro. Amanina and Washington. AC Etia. Yes, science will gauge the foreign airspace between US, Israel, and Iran. Conflict and also said the AC Airboba. The air bomb pie and say conflict into minko inimu na enkofa oil crisis be my so hence adia asem kese and between. Of course, Citizen I Ghana led by Alex Kwekutete almost dia to say yes wo mususun ehu ni say ye nuanom mo soro ho no enchense se ye dwumedi kese office it is a presidency ye de show man sanemum yenye ne so mba beboa di shi wo me ya aboafo na emu se wo pagya de show man sana ebe ye nsem pii enye omu no best IT example me aminim bebre and I'm ashasen me catch no so we share the history of a year the vice president to former president Kufuor a year no hu bibio ono kra na breso and atamale hon to akete no esi ya wo hwe baomia na breso into kwa no nso esi wo boko no enye
ono ne kofa ba enye se ono na breso ne se ono ne kofa
Welcome back to the no time MPP.
No, there be me mandate. Me say October 24th.
Aye. The intelligence agencies of the state. That was our report.
I didn't know my dear show. So I don't know.
It's a now be say I didn't see any anam now. Omo free throw no. They be omo etwa ntokwa edema omo ho sa.
Me ko Kumasi last 2 weeks. There be last 2 weeks. And Asankare barrier. And I mean, almost stop with me and I say, media more report. I call IG office say, former IG Bakodo, make sure say, as an Caribbean, no maybe because we be a blood drive if you cry. We be do Omo general traffic jam sant and our phone complaining. Yansu be information be you say a fast security one day. As I say, Shema IG na soti. We be a drive free Kumasi. Obedu ho no Asankare barrier ho no omaye hwa ye choke inti amanfo reporto regional commander no wuko Ashanti regional commander no Kumasi say inti omo issue wedu IG office ebi yesi bekwai commander omo koje we say your friends say promotion no etio baako Debia no makotu tutuo no form no more the pictures ne ko in the say IG officer who say etuo ba ko na nkofo ne de promotion no eno ano om de yasanti e na me kacha Sankare fo ne say mo adwuma na mo ye wa ha no ulma no be intervene because Ghana for ne bre adawa for drive ya on beduro no na traffic ntine mo ye wa ha no mo hwe no osio say masa hwe bus mi nu yi etuo ma ekoboko se nye barrier na wa ha na eche ya nka ye be yende na msu no de eno so mo so ma rezi good way I hope say na ya mo mamu nda ho kakra because amanfo complain mo wa ni nyina na de sobo no mo de bia mo hu ebeka mo komanda that's what I say na ohwe yem omunkofo na ewo na etuo no eho ye base na eho ye army base mudi tuagu ba sise ba sinda su Asankare yo
can you imagine etuo nko a mudi kwaye den when
ne sechiri misi minim kofo bia ne wo ba o me ho anu omu lodu tuagu bottom koko sack nim ye de ko omu na ye ba o me boys ho kwaku ja na ye nim nyina ne ye ka wo na wo dini asin kofo we mu no eni omo nanti wonimdiem sa na Bible kan
eni omo nanti wonimdiem folks me debi ameka chem se me yesoro honi but see many citizen I Ghana for ya adwen woni me bebre mu hwe metimi aka se nordness a sebe wo ma be di oman so yi me yura John Mahama esi nchen so fa na ni omo ya odemufua ba minimo ade poti ono na nioma waye wo nofo na
wa back 3 times ono anso bie na no se ubia onye president de bia no yintufo because you know how it is
okache akufado ne
enti de sire no on make sure say obeye bibi wo so
internet on internet ni akura nko ho
enna me kire say wo de ono de size wo ntimi a wo ye no waye ne de apem enti wo na wo so sisi wo de waye ba ko mienu miensa enti ofreli a ye mfenche no enti onye Ghana for ye de ahoden ye support ema no ye hu say e ko 2027 na o ye hwenen mistake bi ba ni etia ne na so because MPP de person meba power ko person meba hu bi enti wo mu president ase ni wo mu chia no parliament no eno ano no wo mu men president biem ade e friend president no ye ma wo mu men
guys obi ti say me de be end no just a little brief history of Obite Liman no a career diplomat it was in 79 ye to abama na den e Liman den sa agro okoshe castle agro sa asoja fo no a eboa Liman ba hwade oyem Liman insulated his entire cabinet from the leadership of the AFRC. He cancelled the AFRC for enuma bebre including womo traveling can say traveling programs in Nasefo akaka say ya chempen Lehman Lehman was behaving as if normalcy had been restored fully. Ebra Oeden, Yeto Abamana, but not me if you know, he has inherited a broken system. Lehman refused to adhere to the views and opinions of the rival political groupings. Who does that? Lehman could not secure the domestic international support required to summon the daunting economic challenges inherited from the past. Later, Odanino who be blaming Rawlings, said he had come to power with a pledge to recover the economic viabilities and social fulfillment. 2 years that he was in power, the country was plunged into chaos. Once more, the people looked with uncertain hope to a dark and a threatening future. No. This was Lehman's narrative. But then he said he was the cause of his own demise. Otewa one day no who's enough. At the time, the AFRC for ball kwano to honor obedi adeno. The AFRC4 have returned to barracks and they were watching Lehman government like this. Se kona ko develop your mind. Na me ba soja ban ben and obebo kwan to us yembe toaba. In 79. Soja ban ben. Nti ani yes Rawlings anye bi analysis ya. Rawlings showed us and Mudibu Fourth Republic yo.
Yeah.
Eya mumientis. If you are trying to vilify the Rawlings, I'm saying I'm going to
oh, go bet me bow. She can be Hansoa and also Menso.
It's a nonsense.
Once Omoka say, Ubia Waye Kubiano. Once or Master Airport needing. Yeah, me boy. So Master Airport no. So Ubia Waye Kubiano.